Hi, and welcome back to Celebrating LGBT Artistic Icons. My name is Hanna, and this is
Daniela.
and we're so excited to invite you to one of the last classes in this video series. It's rather bittersweet, but we have a lovely project for you ready today to encourage you to reflect on the themes that we've talked about in this series, what artists you've encountered, maybe what inspirations that you got from there. So the name of our project, I call it the Books of Inspiration. And essentially, you're gonna fill those pages with artists that inspire us, saving the last page for next week's project.
Yeah, so reflecting on the artists and finding new inspirations. Maybe something that you can think about is like which artists you've connected to through this program. We've seen an array of them. I'm sure that some feel more attuned to your own likings, whereas others might serve as a new experience or new ideas, new inspirations. And then think about what about them have struck you. And are there any themes that you find yourself that you keep drawing to?
And these are all questions to get you to start thinking. Because what we're gonna do is, with the project, is essentially make our own books or zines, filling the pages with 3 to 5 artists that you really are inspired by, that you really connect to. We will link this handout in the description below. It's a pretty hands-on project, but it's well worth it. It makes really cute books, and you can still customize it to your own one. So if you don't want like these semicircle pages, you can still make it like a more like a regular book with like square pages and such. But this is just a great way to create something that is, small, portable. You can take it with you if you want to like try to do the project outside. That can be really great too, feeling inspired by the space that you're in. But yeah, like you can feel free to pause the screen here, just pause the video, take a look over the steps, and also feel free to download the handout below and print it out for yourself. But essentially, we're gonna make a little book with the cover being made out of cardboard, so it's a little more sturdy. Or if you just want to have it at your house on your desk, you can leave the covers to be paper as well, and gluing the backs of the pages to each other, so then they're all connected. You don't have to create a spine for it.
So if you want to use, we have a landing page for the LGBT plus icons at artsphere.org. And you can check out this page. It has a lot of like really cool information and resources. We've got the playlist, coloring book, reading list by LGBT artists. There's really a lot of info here. And then we've got a whole list of different artists with their pictures. There's, if you click in any of them, there's a bio. There is typically like a handout that will go with it as well. Yeah, and it's really, really fun. Even just to like get a feel of like different artists on the field, and just it's good research. You got musicians as well, and then I think we got writers as well.
Yeah, so you might see some familiar faces from class, like Sophie and Sylvester right here. And there's like over 150 artists, writers, creators, musicians here. It's a really good resource if you just want to check out, be reminded about maybe the details about artists you already know, or explore the work of some new people to you. Yeah, we highly suggest you check this out, use this resource. All of these creators are of LGBT identity, and they all have their own unique perspectives that are really valuable to the world. So if you want to continue learning outside of this class, this is a great resource for you to do that with.
Yeah. And yeah, you can choose 3 to 5 artists that are on the landing page, or if you know any other artists that you follow on Instagram or that you really have an affinity to, then go add them as well, because obviously we draw inspiration from a lot of different places.
And then again, leaving the last page empty because we're going to be writing personal artist statements next week. So it'll be kind of a books of inspiration part 2 in the next class. But yeah. And finally, once you've created your book, you can think about these questions. So how do the artist's works and messages interact with each other? Like in this grouping that you made, maybe they never knew each other in real life or never interacted with each other's artistic movements. But when you group them together in this book, like maybe there's an interesting way that they play off of each other, or themes that come up that you didn't realize while you were putting together your book. And essentially what we're doing here is creating our own artistic legacies. Whose legacy do you want to continue? Whose work do you want to and approaches do you want to follow in line with? Or maybe just, loosely follow along? And how will you embody that artistic legacy? How is that going to influence and shift your creative practice? And what ways will their approaches influence your approaches? So Daniela and I both made books that you can also, as examples, would you like to show yours first?
This is mine. So how I went about it, I actually cut, it was easier for me to cut squares first. And then I cut, pasted them all together, and then I cut them all together. And so I didn't add a cardboard. I didn't feel like I needed to. And then I started adding the artists, and then I made a little doodle based on art that they have made, giving it my own twist. And on the back pages of those artists, I'm writing what it is about them that I really admire or like. So for example, the first one is Gustav Klimt, which I really love his style and his use of realism, but at the same time abstraction with all those colors and shapes. And I feel like that's something I tend to gravitate towards. I love his topics on love and relationships. So yeah, I chose Emma Atterbury, which is an artist on Instagram, or that's where I've seen them. And she has really cool messages with these little skeletons. Also kind of dystopian kind of looking, squiggly lines. That's something that I wrote here that I love. Got Daria Lazatova, which intricate patterns and stuff. And then I have Arte times Ana Teresa, and Arte by Ana Teresa, and this is also inspired by hers. Yeah, and also another artist that I saw on is on Instagram, and I chose to write to them that they inspired me. And the feedback was awesome too. So if you get the chance, there's someone on Instagram that you're damn, I really love your art, it's good, that feels good for the artists as well. So I'd say go for it.
Yeah, go ahead, tell them, spread the love.
Yes, spread the love. What about you, Rosanna?
I went with the cardboard cover and such, but I also added creative colorful parts. I ended up just using a hole puncher and adding some embroidery thread to tie it closed. But basically, so for my little It's rather small. I left the first page empty. I don't know what I'm gonna put in there. But my first artist was a sort of saint. I don't have his drawing finished yet, but I have this quote from him that I really like, which says, "Truth at all costs." And his work really just, his writing is so beautiful. And then there's Sunil Gupta, who's also featured on the pages, who's a photographer. And he says, there's also a quote from him. And finally, I don't have their page finished totally yet either, but it's a music duo called Satin, which I really love. They're like really disco inspired. And the quote that I have here from them, I just really love. It's like, if we're not going to be accepted, we're still not going to stop. And we know we can change the world. That's what we want to do.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah. Then the last page I made super colorful. I said, by my name, Hanna Pastorius, and for my name, me. And I said, undam your river of intuition, which was my personal artist statement. Yeah. So you can have like a lot of fun with these. I made all this colorful choices and stuff, but yeah, we encourage you, like with the rest of the series, like be creative. Like even though we're telling you to do it one way, it's really cool for you to figure out your own way of going about it, and just being just only inspired or referencing the directions.
Yeah, who did you choose, and how did the chosen artists inspire you? That's basically like the gist of this project, right? What you want to get out of it. I don't know about you, Hanna, or the rest of the audience, but for me, like when I got asked like who inspires you, it was always such a struggle for me to choose someone, because like I draw inspiration from a lot of places, people, things, different things, and I used to like gravitate towards the same type of things. Doing this book though really put a name and a face to like the little things that inspire me. So I absolutely loved making this project. Yeah, and I hope you guys do too.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Absolutely, like talk about it with your friends too. As always, like even if this project is like an individual meditation by yourself or reflection, it's all about the collaboration, all about sharing the love, sharing the ideas, and growing together. So yeah, and then next week we're gonna use that last page with our personal artist statement and talking about how to make change with your art. Thank you again, and we'll see you in the next video.
Yay! Bye.